Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to discuss the new player experience more so than just the theme of Gadgetzan. I have talked about the new player experience, particularly in Gadgetzan, and while it is pretty bad to play ladder as a new player right now because, the current decks are just so powerful, it's almost impossible to really play anything that isn't exactly the meta decks. That's a pretty big problem for new players because these meta decks kind of start creeping in around the ranks of 20 and 19. It's actually pretty insane, how many people actually play the same decks throughout the entire ladder system. So a new player comes in, they say, oh, Hearthstone free-to-play game, check it out. They're playing garbage minions with no stats at like 5 and 6 mana, and then they realize their opponents have the same cards at like 3 and 4 mana, and they just get blown the hell out, right? So that experience is really bad and is definitely here in Gadgetzan, but it is an experience that for new players has been getting worse and worse. Every expansion, the new player experience falls back behind. Blizzard kind of pushes a little bit to try to compensate for that from time to time, but it feels like these promotions are kind of short-lived. I've seen in other games, when a new player starts playing the game, they actually get a lot of free content. I think every card game I've played, except for Hearthstone, you can actually explore more than like the first few ranks of ladder if you are on a free-to-play account. And a lot of that comes from the fact that their generous bonuses are either reoccurring or stack up. So in some games, that have a few expansions, each expansion, the developers give you, or the game gives you, like, let's just say, for example, 10 packs. Well, if you miss out on that offer, you still get most of those packs later on. So what I mean is, for instance, when Whispers of the Old Gods came out, I don't know how many packs you got, like 7 free packs, which is still pretty good, but definitely not as good as most of the other games I've played in terms of the free offerings. But nonetheless, that's pretty good. 7 free Old Gods packs. All you have to do is play the Old Gods in the first month of it coming out. But if you play at a later time, you no longer get those packs. So, why does Blizzard do that? It's kind of strange. They really punish new players from trying to make something work from the basics of an account. And it is a bit of a shame. I think Blizzard can definitely, at the very least, keep these promos going. So if someone starts up today, I think they should get a few free packs from Whispers of the Old Gods, a few free packs from the Grand Tournament, and because all of these expansions have different dynamics, different archetypes, different combos, they'll be introduced to more options, and things will really start spinning inside their heads, rather than having to play with base cards, which really, they're basic, but they don't really offer very much, and certainly struggle to keep you competitive if you have too many of them. The other experiences are, you get one free arena run. How much is a new player really going to learn from one free arena run? I feel if you give a few free arena runs, but the way a lot of the other card games do this reward structure is they have you play their PvE content, and through the PvE content, you are rewarded with these things. So Hearthstone kind of tries to do that, but it's if you beat every single expert opponent, you get 100 gold, which is a pack, right? So it's very, very low. It's really stingy in terms of the free-to-play offerings. And you have to keep in mind, the meta decks that are out there crushing these free-to-play decks, you need so many packs to really make even one of them. If Blizzard just gave every free-to-play account 20 packs, they still wouldn't have a very good deck, but, they'll be much closer. And I think the balancing point to where free-to-play players are more drawn to the game and are more involved in trying to come up with their own decks is certainly further than the offerings of 3 packs or whatever it is for starting play. I don't even know if the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan bonus is still going on. And what was that, 6 packs or something? So again, fairly weak. I do think the amount of cards new players should receive should be proportional to the number of expansions that are currently being played, and I don't think that's really been accounted for very well so far. And a few of the other things that I think really pushes away the new player base are kind of like old things that players who have been playing for a long time have that you can never really get again. And someone sent me an email and talked to me about this, and I knew this was going on, but I didn't realize so many people are actually outraged by this. There's a lot of people who collect card backs, for instance, and, they missed like 2 card backs throughout, the last 3 years of seasons because they didn't get rank 20. Some of them have missed like the Winter's Veil card back and were really disappointed that Blizzard did not end up bringing that back this year. So people are like, what gives? There's a lot of people, particularly players who play Blizzard games, by the way, who are completionists, who really want all of this stuff. Now, a lot of games out there have items like these, have items that are kind of like legacy items that you can't really bring back. But I think all of these games, at least the ones that come to mind, actually have a system in place where you can exchange them. So in Hearthstone, there is no trading whatsoever, not for cards, not for card backs, not for rewards, just absolutely nothing. So I feel you can't have both systems going on at the same time. If you want Hearthstone to be strictly cannot trade for anything, you need to offer some other way to get some of these things. Like, some people really want some of these card backs. Some people really want to play as Khadgar and can never again do so. So, I feel like the strategy they have isn't very good. Some of you guys watching might be like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. I don't actually care about some of these card backs and stuff. But all of these things summed up really do push away new players because they start playing, they're like, wow, that's really cool. I want to get that. Oh, I can't get that. Oh, I can't get that either. Oh, I want to play that deck. I have to pay how much to play that deck? So, this has to be a much more inviting experience for Hearthstone to work. As I've talked about, the new player experience in every game needs to be perfect. As good as the game might be, if Hearthstone was the best game on the planet, if the new player experience is bad, the overall player base will, over time, reduce itself. And the reason is, people, even if they're playing the best thing ever, some of the games I played at their peak still lost some players. If the new player experience is not good enough, well, it's just not going to work. I feel like a lot of these issues were the same in Dark Age of Camelot when I played. Dark Age of Camelot was really an amazing game, truly a miracle of entertainment, of balance, of adventure, of just crazy difficulty, of teamwork, everything put together very well. But the new experience sucked. A new player would just get massacred, absolutely destroyed by experience. There's no chance, right? So, and because the learning curve was so high, people just didn't have the patience to try it. And I feel Hearthstone has a lot of parallels to that. Hearthstone at a core is a very good game. Yes, that goes up and down with expansions, but arguably it's pretty okay right now. And I think with the possibilities available for the future because of the system that Hearthstone has in place, the next expansion, Hearthstone, might just be the best card game ever made. That's kind of how it was. The range is really high for what's possible with Hearthstone content updates. But even then, new players are still going to struggle to get to that point, to get involved in the game and to continue playing. So Hearthstone has, a long lifespan, a large player base in its future. So that's kind of what I want to address. I do hope that through this video, I can get you guys thinking about it, and maybe at the end of this, we can actually see some results. Some things might actually change to get new players more involved in this great game. So let me know what you think. Let me know what else you guys think they should do. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.